my channel. Hey yo, listen up, yeah. Hey yo, the wireless woman.
You in charge of the girls, right?
I am in charge of the girls.
Are you in charge of the girls?
I am in charge of the girls.
Okay.
All right. Hey, yo, Wi-Fi's. Welcome back to yet another underground and under renovation episode of The Wireless Woman. Go ahead and do me a favor on your way in and like this video. Why? Because when you like it, well, I love it. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And click the bell for notifications of when I go live and when I upload new content. So I've heard this a couple times this week, and yeah, my content kind of just comes from whatever it is that I'm going through at the time. But this is season 3, y'all. This is Wireless World Order, and so it's my world, and you're all just living in it, and you're invited, to share in the experience of that. But I have been hearing in my dating process, I thought you were out of my league. Today's video is out of my league. What is that? What does that even mean? But I will say I heard it from the white guy, Ryan. We're gonna call him Ryan for the purpose of talking about him. He said that before we went out on a date, and that was like a huge red flag to me, which is why I probably should have just not gone, because everything went left after that date, and I knew from that. But let me just say that insecurity is a vibe. It's a whole entire vibe, and a lot of people are so insecure at their core that they're looking to connect with other insecure people. Insecure and anxious is an attachment style. It's people who are overly concerned with, believe, fear that they will be abandoned. And as a person who once had an insecure attachment style, who still struggles with it in certain spaces, I ain't gonna lie, I get insecure too.
Why you gotta be so insecure?
But it is a relationship killer. You cannot come from an insecure place and create an emotionally stable relationship. So I'm seeing it over and over and over again, especially in the dating profile space, because a lot of people come into the dating app space because they don't want that face-to-face rejection. It allows you to be able to be anonymous, if you will, in how you approach people. So you may not even know what the reasons are for why you got rejected. And that can be a good thing for your ego, I suppose. But on the flip side of that, you never really get the feedback that's needed to perfect your approach. You never really learn the things about yourself that will make you a more appealing partner. And that's what I'm seeing with a lot of the men in this space. Baby, they on this date now, putting in specifications like they ordering lunch. Like, I want a woman who's this, that, this, and that, this. Some of them, don't get me wrong, will put in their specifications. I'm loyal, I'm driven, I'm ambitious, I have self-confidence, which is really great when they describe themselves instead of what they want. But like I said, I'm finding that there's this deep insecurity with the men. I don't have a whole lot of men that come on my channel that view my content. They're very sensitive these days, the males. But for any who do come, I like you to kind of comment for me and let me know if you're experiencing the same type of deep-seated, this thing is deep-seated insecurities with the males. And a lot of men will say to us as women, well, y'all choose these men and y'all choose this and y'all choose that. But I can unequivocally say, as a woman, I don't speak for all of them, but I got to speak on some level for some because I am one, maybe. But not maybe a woman. I just mean maybe I can speak for them. 'Cause people get these sound bites go left. But I personally have had to make some decisions about how great of an investment I would be willing to make in a relationship, because the purpose of the relationship is to join two people together to build out, to build up for themselves. But if you go into a relationship with a person where you got to build them up first, the energy goes this way like this instead of going this way like that. If that made sense what I was saying. I think it does. And so at 40, you got to start trying to decide as a woman how much of this you're willing to do in order to get the partner that you want. I know men are gaslighting us all up and down these, you know, podcasting streets, saying that we don't choose men unless they're perfect, like as if they're not saying, but but this is what I'm finding. I can't date poor men who don't have their own places to stay and haven't achieved a certain amount in their life by a certain age, not because I necessarily like wouldn't or I hate men, but because they're insecure. I don't like dating short men anymore because they can be very aggressive because they're insecure. Men who will feel uncomfortable competing with other male groups for scarce resources tend to be insecure. I don't like dating men who have had a lot of failure in past relationships simply because they are insecure. Unemployed, insecure. These are the things that come across underneath the approach. And I think a lot of men are chalking up certain characteristics they may or may not had as to being the reason why they're not desirable to women, when the truth is, underneath all of those things, underneath all of the conversations we hear y'all saying, y'all are insecure. When a woman achieves goals that she has for herself, whether they be financial, educational, social, we build our security. And as we become more and more secure, those are the things that men will attack. They'll say, well, we don't care about your degrees. We don't care how much money you make. We don't care. But then they want us to not care as well. However, these are the things that make these men feel so insecure about where they are. And let me just say, as a woman who's been through the dating process, into the relationship process, into the marriage process more than once, people love to be like, oh, you're not an expert on it because you got divorced. Forget all y'all. Because if you make it to the Super Bowl, you make it to the Super Bowl. It's just that's just it. You had to beat out a whole bunch of teams just to make it to the championship. Both teams went there to win. One won, one lost. It just is what it is. But that doesn't mean that you're still not a championship player. Okay, you're still going to get a ring. You're still going to be in that. You're still going to be in that list in history of having been that chick. So forget all y'all. But my point is, as someone who's seen these qualities translate all the way from a man that you are potentially interested in into a husband, baby, that insecurity though, that insecurity is going to continue to show up and deepen as that man takes on more and more and more and more responsibility for being your partner. It doesn't go away. It doesn't get better. It doesn't improve. And you can't fill in the blank for him. So for the women, look out for that. When you're hearing things like, I thought you were out of my league, or you seemed unapproachable, you follow that, because insecure is not a vibe. And for any men who are over here on the channel listening and paying attention, work on that. Figure that out. It's a self thing. It's self-esteem. It's self-confidence. And a woman cannot be responsible for regulating that for you. Go ahead and get in these comments. Leave me that fire headphones emoji. Tell me how you're liking the content. Tell me what you want to see more or less of. How are you feeling, people? Temperature check. But until the next time, go ahead and clock out for me. You know the drill. You're dismissed.
Yeah, Barbara, it's Richie. Yeah, look it, I ain't never coming home no more. Take it easy.